What's up, guys? SirAllAboutMusic here, and I wanted to talk, really do a quick review of this album right here. Butthole Surfers, Locust Abortion Technician, released in 1987. And the reason I wanted to do a review of this album is because I was talking to a friend of mine earlier this week. We were having a discussion about noise rock. And this friend of mine said that noise rock is the most useless genre in music. And this kind of, I wasn't angry, but I was just kind of stunned in disbelief because this has always, this kind of music has always interested me. I mean, and I'm one of the few people, I actually sometimes enjoy listening to Metal Machine music, the Lou Reed album. I'll be doing a review of that. And the thing that noise rock holds for me is it's like taking all the rules of music and just throwing them out the window. I mean, I listen to bands like the Flaming Lips that, they're doing amazing, fantastic new things with music, but there are still rules that they follow. Just like, and they're the same rules that Miley Cyrus follows. Rules of structure, rules of listenability. There are still things that requirements that you have to meet to make it music. Noise rock, in my mind, tries to break out of that. And, not all the songs on here are just, fuck all. There's structure on here. There's discernible riffs, but the Butthole Surfers coat those discernible riffs in just, almost pure chaos, and it makes it just an amazing experience to listen to this album. It's so fresh and new when you listen to it. So, I don't know if I can really do a review of this album because to understand the Butthole Surfers, to be able to explain the Butthole Surfers, you have to listen to the Butthole Surfers. You can't listen to someone talk about them. I mean, their style is just so hard to put into words, except for, just noise rock. There are songs on here like, an example of this would be the fourth track is called Weber, and it's basically 35 seconds of modulated feedback. I mean, is that a song? Is it? That's the kind of questions that this album and other Butthole Surfers albums and other noise rock bands bring to the table. What makes something a song? And then you have a track like Omen, which is all it really is just, this drum beat. There really isn't any kind of other structure to it. There's just, it basically is just, just a, whatever we want to do kind of thing. And there's so many tracks on here that are like that. This album really asks, where is the line drawn between just, noise and music, or what I guess you could call them soundscapes. So, this is by far, this is probably my favorite Butthole Surfers album, of the stuff that they did before they sold out. And if you're trying to constantly push your musical boundaries, I would recommend getting this album. But if you have listened to them before and you don't like them, I mean, really, there's no real point in listening to this. If you've never listened to them before, you really have to ask yourself how different music can get for you to accept it. You got to think about that, because these guys are not easy listening. And on the first listen, most likely they'll just seem like, useless junk. But it's on the repeat listens where the genius really comes out. And, these guys, I don't know if these guys were really trying to break boundaries or if they were just goofing off and having fun. But it doesn't matter it doesn't matter for me, because for me this album really is genius. It really is. And a lot of the stuff that they do is genius. So, yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and talk about that. I'm not going to give this a rating. I really can't do a solid review of it. I can give the best song on here, and that's USSA, by far my favorite song. Um, the worst is maybe Human Cannonball, just because I think it's a little too structured for the album. Um, yeah, so if you have this album, look into some of their earlier stuff. Brown Reason to Live is a really good EP. Rembrandt, Pussy Horse. Airway to Steven is when they kind of started drifting towards the more commercial side of their music. But it's good stuff if you can get through the first couple listenings, and if you're open to really extreme experimental music. So this is Sir All About Music. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like. Guys, please give me feedback. I haven't been getting much feedback at all. I really do like interacting with you guys and getting feedback. I love it. I love it. And tell your friends about my channel. If you like my channel and you like my videos, tell people you know. Tell friends on YouTube. So I can, because I've been looking at the Needle Drops channel and You're Wrong, I'm Right, and they just there's this community kind of thing there that I really, really like, and I really like to get there with my channel. So so that's all I gotta say. This is All About Music, and I'll see you guys next time.